We're going to do a Kentucky Fried Chicken, some kind of fried chicken problem here. We're going to start with given that X equal it's the weight of the family size bucket in pounds. So that means that it is the amount in the family bucket and that's going to be in pounds. Then we're told that the party bucket is X plus 10 more pounds, amount in the party bucket. Okay, so that's how much is in the bucket, how much chicken. And then we also see that 3 pounds equals the quantity of white meat. In the family bucket, and we're told that 8 pounds equals the quantity of white meat in the party bucket. And then we're told something very important. We're told that the percentage of white meat in the party bucket is equal to the percentage of white meat in the family bucket plus 10%. Now that 10% we want to change to a fraction. So percent means divide by 100, so it's equal to 10 divided by 100, which simplifies to 1/10. Okay, now given all that information, they want us to find the weight, which would be the amount in the party bucket. So the amount of chicken in the party bucket, we know, will be equal to X plus 10. So if we find X, we can figure out what the answer is. So the first thing we want to do is recall a formula. The quantity of the white meat, in this case, in the bucket is equal to the percentage of white meat times the amount of chicken in the bucket. Now we want to change that to solve it for percentage. The percentage of white meat in the bucket is equal to the quantity of white meat in the bucket divided by the amount of chicken in the bucket. Okay, now we're going to bring this little thing down here. The percentage in the party bucket, that's the percentage of white meat in the party bucket, is equal to the percentage in the family bucket, and then it's plus 10%, but we change that to a fraction, 1/10. Okay, now we're going to use this percentage equals Q over A to substitute. So we see the quantity of white meat in the party bucket divided by the amount of chicken in the party bucket. That's going to replace the percentage because that's the same. Percent equals quantity over amount. And that equals the quantity of white meat in the family bucket divided by the amount of chicken in the family bucket plus the 110. Okay, now let's replace some of these things with what we were given. The quantity of white meat in the party bucket was given to be 8 pounds, divided by the amount in the party bucket is x plus 10. Bring down the equal sign. The quantity of white meat in the family bucket is 3 pounds, divided by the amount of chicken in that bucket, 10x pounds, plus 1 over 10. So we see for this equation, the least common denominator is equal to 10 times x plus 10. Okay, so we are going to get rid of the fractions by multiplying all three terms by the LCD. So we have 10 times x plus 10 times the first term, 8 over x plus 10, equals 10 times x plus 10, the LCD, times this next term, 3 over x. Bring down the plus sign, then the LCD, 10 times x plus 10, times the last term, 1 over 10. And we can simplify by canceling common factors on the top and bottom. And let's see what we have left. Here we have 10 times x times 8 over 1, so that gives us 80 times x. Bring down the equal sign. 10 times 3 is 30 times parenthesis x plus 10, plus we've got x times x plus 10. Okay, now we need to get rid of the parentheses. 80 times x equals 30 times x plus 30 times 10 is 300, plus x times x is x squared, plus x times 10 is 10x. And then we will move everything on one side of the equal sign. I'm going to move it on the side that makes the x squared term positive, so the left side will be 0, equals, and we combine like terms, we'll get x squared. Then we have the 30x plus 10x is 40x, minus 80x is negative 40x, and then we have plus 300. Okay, here's our second degree equation, and we've moved everything to one side. Now it's time to factor the non-zero side. So when we factor, we get 0 equals, just going to guess, x is in the first position, a 30 and a 10. No. Oh, this should be 300. My bad, over here. So it's a 30 and a 10, and they're both negative. Just think about it. First times first gives you x squared. Last times last gives you a positive 300. Product of the outers plus product of the inners is negative 10x plus negative 30x is negative 40x. Okay, so we set each of our factors equal to 0. Since the product is equal to 0, we get x minus 30 equals 0, or x minus 10 equals 0. We solve this, we get x equals 30, or x equals 10. And now we're ready to answer the question. Go back to what you were asked to find. The amount of chicken in the party bucket. Well, that's not x. It's equal to, if you look back at the top, it's equal to x plus 10 more pounds than we had in the x bucket, the family bucket. So that's equal to 30 plus 10, or 10 plus 10, which implies we've got 40 pounds or 20 pounds. So you see, we get two solutions in this problem. We can satisfy all the conditions with a 40-pound party bucket or with a 20-pound party bucket.